Robin, is the chamber, one of the chambers is getting a new membership module. I can't talk this morning. Membership extension, and I've chosen to use Business Directory. I've tried everything out there, and I know if it were you, you'll probably end up wanting to do it in latest news, and I'm just not proficient in that one. So that's what I'm working on, is the membership directory. And the hardest part is getting the members, the people who've paid to be in the chamber, to get them to get me their information. They pay a lot of money to be in a chamber, and if they don't give me the information, I can't put it in there. I'll put the name in there.
We're going to have a really good conversation. I'm
Okay.
Pat and I are going to meet offline because I'm bidding a chamber and I'm going to talk to her about that.
I think you should just make stuff up, and that would force them in there really quick, especially if it's embarrassing.
Like this is the cult of.
This is why it's the cult of, yes. All right, Ellen's going to go next, and then we're going to go to Alan.
Hi, I'm Ellen Rothwax from Fairfield, Connecticut. Actually, right now I'm in right outside of Chicago, visiting family. I've been using Joomla for like 15 years or so. I just migrated one of my larger sites from 3 to 4. It's sort of a travel agency for a niche industry. So far it's going pretty well, but I do want to throw something out there. Maybe somebody can help me. When I go to systems and I see discover, I have 136 items. Many of those were uninstalled before I migrated. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know what to do with it. Anybody have any suggestions?
Hello. Laura.
Hey, Peter.
You may want to actually delete the directories where those extensions are. If you know that they're already uninstalled.
Clear what? Delete the directories, like FTP, and find the directories, because he helped me with this on one of my migrations. So say you had a directory in your FTP that the module was installed in, you can just go in and delete that directory and it no longer will be discoverable.
Or go to the host and cPanel and look in the directory structure exactly as they're saying, go to components or plugins. I don't know where this may be sitting, and look around. The only thing is you may also have to remove it from the administrator / components and the regular components. So just be careful, look around. So it's possible that these things were uninstalled. Now, the other thing I've tried to do, where I'll reinstall it and then uninstall it, and then that uninstalls it properly. I've had to do that before too.
That works too.
I did that with a couple, Akiba and I think Easy Blog. I might have had to do that for, but I checked like the temp file where I think they're supposed to be if you need to install it via Discover.
No,
Not necessarily.
That's empty.
It could be an orphan, meaning there's either a database entry and no folders, or vice versa, where a folder may be sitting there and maybe there is a database reference, the folder, and there's nothing in the folder and it's empty or something like that. So the folder structure, that's where the files exist for all of your extensions.
So if I go to like administrator components and look for the Easy Blog folder, I could just delete it, just like that.
Well, before you do that, you may want to just double check. If you're going through a some kind of file manager, go through administrator, then components, and see what's in there, or modules or plugins. There's different folders for each.
Right.
And then also go to the root directory. So everything's in administrator. That's the administrator piece. Then in the root directory, it may be sitting in there too, under components or plugins or modules.
Okay.
Maybe
all right,
I
thanks.
can tell about the background about this. So if you go to the backend of your Joomla website and you have Discover, the Discover function of Joomla will look in your file structure for XML files. The XML files contain the extension data, and when it finds something in the XML files, it will add it to the extension folder. Extension database table.
Mhm.
There is a database table called extensions, and it will have all your extensions, but also the discovered extensions. So I think Laura already mentioned that you have to look into the database, and that's the table where you have to look into. So you can have references over there that are already in the database, but maybe they are removed from the file system. Be very careful because you have all your extensions that are working also there.
If you need help, contact me and I'll help you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You've been a big
Afterwards.
help so far, just with the latest news extensions. So thank you very much. I will call on you. Thank you.
Okay, great. Alan, you want to say hello and then we're going to go to Paul after him?
Yeah, my name's Alan Badiger. I'm actually a software developer here in Dallas, just outside of Dallas. But I'm also have my website using Joomla and some other websites that I help maintain using Joomla. And my big project now is migrating some extremely ancient websites from an old Pentium 4 server that are running on like PHP 2 and migrating those over to Joomla and refreshing them. And in some cases, I have to maintain some databases that go back 20, 30 years, which is what the big challenge is going to be. One of these sites is actually written in Joomla 1.5, but it's on like PHP 2. So backing it up to move it's going to be a challenge because Akiba won't run on something that old. So that's my big project coming up now that I'm healed up and now that I finished my daughter's graduation. I was just up in Virginia for the last week. My daughter got her, she's 42 years old and a mother with 2 children, and she finished her master's in mental health counseling and graduated last week. So
Congratulations.
we spent
That's
last week
great.
up in at Liberty University watching her walk the stage.
Wonderful.
That's so amazing.
She
Okay,
took
that was too old
took her
to learn.
5 years to get it, but she got it.
All right, Paul, I'm going to have you go next. And Salisu, is that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay, you'll be after Paul.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm Paul Search from Recaps Marketing. The project I'm working on right now is rebuilding my father-in-law's pastor's church website. I'm almost done with it, and I'm really happy with it. The old site was a WordPress site that looked old, and I'm just adding some really cool functionality to it. So I'm really excited about that.
That does look fun. I'd love to see it shared out on our group page when you'd finished.
Definitely.
People have done that, so feel free. Salisu, say hello, and then Anna afterwards.
Hello, my name is Salisu Danyaro. I'm here in Glassboro, southern New Jersey. Right now, I have many websites that are running on Joomla, but I'm mostly on maintenance, just keeping an eye. And I have some that are scheduled to migrate from 3 to 4, but I have to synchronize with the clients first. Thank you. And this is my first time here. I'm glad to be here.
Welcome. Anna, say hello, and then Daniel.
Okay, so I'm Anna Robinson. I'm from Sweden, and I'm a graphic designer, but I do Joomla as well. And right now I'm working at I'm making a new version for a tailor for his website. He had old Joomla 3. And I'm not migrating it because I took it over from someone else. So I'm just making a fresh one and copying all the content because there was a lot of crap in there. And then I have another longtime client on Joomla as well. And he's already on Joomla 4, but he launched a new product. So I'm making a lot of changes to his website as well. So that's what I'm doing now.
Wonderful. Danielle, once you say hello, I'm going to go next to Wesley.
Yeah, thank you, Robin. Hi, everyone. I'm Daniel from Brittany. This is the west part of France. And like I said, the previous time I was there, just to say thank you to Robin for this online event. It's a great idea. And thank you very much for welcoming everybody. It's very interesting. Currently, we are working on mainly. I'm a seed builder, and we're working mainly on migration Joomla 3 to Joomla 4, and we are also working on a side project named Template Joomla with the first two, not the first, but thank you, Olivier. This is the largest Joomla template directory currently running. And this is a huge project, but very motivating. We had a lot of very positive review from many people around. Last week in Netherlands, but not only, everywhere. So that's good, and we plan to work on something new. Maybe at the end of the year, we will probably have something, another project similar, but I can't say. It's a surprise for Joomla.
Good. Wesley next, and after Allison.
Good morning, all, and I'm Wesley from Tucson, Arizona. So I've actually migrated all of my sites up to Joomla 4. Now, had I known it was going to be as easy to do as I did it, I wouldn't have dumped some of the clients that I dumped a year and a half ago when I was really uncertain about that. And I was really disappointed to learn that they've now, a couple of them have now moved to WordPress. And it's like, really a drag to see that. But my current projects, I'm actually just tweaking the sites that I'm maintaining now. And kind of doing refinements. And I'm not really a programmer, but I was delighted that I was able to figure out how to do the template overrides and, read the darn PHP code and get it to work correctly. I move things around so that the template looked the way I wanted it to. So that was exciting. And right now I'm just struggling with, I'm using the smart search on one of my sites, and it adds a bunch of junk at the end of the URL. I just want it to end at what my original URL was. And now it has all that question mark and all the other category, whatever at this end. And I'm hoping there's a way to get rid of that, because I really don't want that there when the person clicks on the article from the search page. So that's where I'm at right now. Thanks.
Very good. Allison, say hello, and then Joe Sunny.
Hi, Allison Meeks here in Southern Guelph, just south of the lovely Joe Sunny on a sunny day. And I've got a bunch of balls in the air of people that should be launching, but I'm just waiting for that last bit of content. But the main one is a site for a pub in my hometown that we've been dancing back and forth for a couple of years, and she finally pulled the trigger a little while ago. And again, it was like she sent me the logo and the menu, and that was all the content I got for this to build the website.
Wow.
And I've done pretty well between that and stalking their social media, but I'm in 3 weeks into the wait for the rest of the content. Would love to get that out the door. But that's, usual stuff for people, right? Just like some people are really keen to get their site up, and others are just like, I don't know what you're waiting for, man, because you don't have a website at all right now. So,
Allison, does this mean that you're able to set the beer prices on the website?
oh man. They have a hell of a selection of on taps, that's for sure.
All right, Joe, and then Lisa.
So I'm Joe, and as Allison mentioned, I'm also from Guelph, Ontario, and Canada. I got a lot of things going on, but probably the more interesting thing for everybody here to know is I am currently being stretched mentally by a former presenter, Adam Melcher, who was here, who showed us how to do stuff through the back end. So I'm a front ender by Joomla, expertise, and I am slowly learning how to deal with the back end and PHP code, which I've always wanted to do at a better level, and that's my big challenge right now.
Lisa, and then Olivier.
Hey everybody, I'm Lisa Kaiser, located in Virginia, about an hour south of Washington, DC. And I've been working with Joomla for 16-ish years, since 2007. Is that really 16 years ago? Time is really going fast, guys. I do have a site that is so close to launching, a J4 site that I'm excited about. It is a writing retreat directory. So I built it using Joom donation software, and I've had a bunch of cool customizations going on with that too, so that the search and filter and display can work the way they want. I'm at the point now where it's just tweaking tiny little things with like the entry form to make it idiot proof, which, as everyone knows, is really impossible to do, but trying to do the most. Yeah, like we were doing testing around this morning, and there's a link to an external registration form, and she just put in www. So if you click on the register button, it takes you to a 404 error on the site because she forgot to put in HTTPS. So I'm like, we need to make sure we put in there that you have to enter the full URL or it's not going to work. So anyway, a whole bunch of little tiny things. I am really hopeful we can get this site launched like within the next 7 days, because it's been working on it for a while. Initially was going to build it in Joomla, and then my designer found something in WordPress and was like, let's do it in that instead. And I was like, fine, because I'd handed off all the front end part to her, and we built it in WordPress. And then I was like, nope. Worked on it for several months and said, this is terrible. It's not going to do what we want. So we then switched it back to Joomla. And yeah, I'm excited to get it off the ground. I don't have a lot of sites that I've converted to J4. Actually, I don't think I have any. I've launched a few in Joomla 4, but none of my J3 sites have moved yet, mostly because there's some incompatible software issues. Especially I have a big one that's running CVCRM, which from what I've seen so far, everyone who's moved to Joomla 4 on it has run into issues. So that one's going to be, I think, waiting a while because it's a massive site. But I'm excited to eventually move some of the other ones. And I'm really hopeful that all the awesome extension developers will keep supporting J3 past August, because I'm definitely going to need it beyond that. So
Wonderful. Okay, Olivier, and then Laura.
All right. Hey, hello, everybody. I'm Olivier from New York. I'm an extension developer, and I also maintain websites. My next project now is moving my own websites to Joomla 4. I can't believe I haven't done that yet. I'm also working on importing and exporting guided tours in Joomla 4.3. So if there are questions, if you have ideas of how you would want to do it, let me know, and I can take that into consideration. Thanks.
Okay, we're going to go to Laura and then Mike.
Hi, everybody. Laura Gordon, I'm a Joomla website developer. And so we're talking about what a big project is that we're working on?
Something you're working on right now.
Okay. Well, I can breathe now that JJ USA is just saying. Okay, anyway, we'll talk about that later. So I have a project, a client came to me a couple of years ago with a really big bug on their site. The whole site like blew up. And I think it was like 3 years ago, and I gave them instructions of what they should do to fix it because they didn't want me to actually fix it live. So I spent the time, and they paid me for this time, right? I analyzed, and, I turned off some debugging errors so it didn't look like the site was blowing up, but it really was, right? And I gave them all these instructions. They said, that's great. We have an IT person. We're going to take care of it. That was 3 years ago. Well, then they came back to me last year. They never made any of those changes or updates. Are we surprised? So now the problem is like compounded like tenfold. It's going to cost them a ton more money because if they let me do it then, and it wasn't because of money they didn't want me to do it, they just didn't have the bandwidth, right? So for the past year, I've been working on this migration. They're in PHP 5.4, Joomla 3.4.8, I think, like old, yeah. So my project, so basically starting in this fall, I've been taking really little, and their template will not work in anything new. So in the fall, I literally rebuilt their website like 4 different times on a copy, taking notes. I have like a long thing of notes of every single element to do in order to get it just to PHP 7 and Joomla 3.10. Because my feeling is once I can get it there, then the next jump over to 4 will be easy. So anyway, that's really, really fun. And the good news is I did convert their template to UTheme. And the advantage of that is then I know the jump from 3.10 to 4 will be that much easier because all the work has been done. So we took a hiatus like every couple of months. I'm like, okay, guys, I did it. Can you test it? Anyway, so I'm going to be starting that up again in the next like 2 weeks. So that's going to be really fun. And it's a massive site. They have like more content than you can ever imagine. But, you know, the good news is they don't mind paying for it and they don't mind and they understand that they're the ones who screwed it up. So what better, you know, that's my job, right? It's going to suck, but whatever. And that's about it.
All right, Mike, and then Derek.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Kreitzer, born and raised in Los Angeles. The current project I'm working on would be searching for a new host. I am currently on HostGator with a reseller. I've used SiteGround before. I'm considering Scala hosting. The only thing is I prefer to have a phone number to reach support, and they don't have that. So that's my only, that and time that's keeping me from doing it right now, but that's my project.
Okay.
Moving everything to a new host.
Derek and then Karen.
Derek Madge in Waterloo, Ontario, and I'm really humbled by these stars because I'm doing next to nothing. I actually just today handed in my my resignation or my retirement plan to my employer, and so I'm looking forward to getting rolling and doing more work in the fall after, I hope, a summer full of camping.
Nice. I like that.
Me too.
Karen and then Richard.
Everybody, I'm Karen. I live in Athens, Georgia. I'm a Joomla developer developing Joomla websites, 100% a Joomla website. I don't ever touch WordPress. I've heard WordPress mentioned earlier. And the main project that I'm focused on right now is it's a small project, but I migrated a site from J3 to J4. I'm almost done with all my sites doing that. Migrations have gone fairly well. The one I'm working on now, I'm also trying to make an improvement for the user experience. I'm using, I've laid out specific article pages with easy layouts and custom fields. It's a lot of data entry for the client. Which is a land trust, so they give all the specifics, specific information about each of their properties. And so I've got a whole tab that they fill out within an article with their property details. And I just started using Peter's extension, but I know you got an email from me, Peter. I'm not sure yet whether your component is compatible with easy layouts. I haven't dug in any further, but I haven't been able to get it to render if the page is categorized with easy layouts. But anyway, I'm very excited for Peter's extension. Glad that you're here, Peter, to talk about it. I was actually bragging on you with my other Joomla user group last week and giving them a demo, but that was before I didn't realize I was coming up with a problem with not getting it to work with easy layout. So we'll see. I've got great hopes for what you created, Peter. So thanks for being here.
Thank you, Richard, and then Yorgos.
Hi, I'm Richard Sparks. I'm from Loveland, Colorado, and I've been using Joomla exclusively since 2006 as a full-time freelancer. I'm in the middle right now of, it seems like dozens of migrations from Joomla 3 to 4, and for my clients and for other people as well. So, and it's been going pretty well, you know, pretty easy actually. I haven't had anything really difficult. It's when you have to switch from an old template like UTheme Warp template, you know, to something that's compatible with 4. That's when it gets a little bit more complicated. But anyway, that's what I'm up to.
Yorgos, and then Julie.
Hello, my name is Yorgos. I'm from Alhambra, small village in Cyprus, and I have some things to do these weeks. But it's getting too hot, so I prefer to be on the beach instead of working.
Okay, one guy camping, one guy at the beach. I love it.
Yeah. I'm transferring a mega modification from Joomla 3 to Joomla 4 of a kind of big website. And I found difficulty to make the menus because the content was in K2. And then I translated to, I make it to Joomla component. And I found out that the menu doesn't work if I use to place it as a block. And I'm working on this thing. I'm trying to find a solution. So it's getting me kind of bugged. That's what I'm doing.
All right, sounds good. We're going to go to Julie and then Anne. All right, we're going to go to Anne and then Tim, and we'll see if Julie is available in a bit.
Hi, I'm Ann Noter Thomas, and I'm the owner of eCamera, and I'm from Syracuse, New York. And I am so happy that I did my first migration, and thanks to so many people here, Tim, the Migrate Me, I used that and it was great. And I had several plugins I had to replace, and that Smart Slider 3, I think Lisa brought that up. And from Joomla Day, I learned about Articles Anywhere, and it let me replace another old thing. And those were my biggest challenges, but it was just working through them. So I'm excited about that. I've got my first client migration. That was my site. And I'm going to start tomorrow on a first client one. And so that'll bring me up to 6 Joomla 4 sites.
Wonderful. Tim, you want to say hello?
Hello, everyone. I apologize for being late. Apparently people at the West Coast like to meet at 11 o'clock. So do you want me to say anything else?
That's Tim. Hello, Tim.
Hello. Yeah, I'm basking in the glow of J-Day USA. It was so much fun. It was so great. And it's great to see some of you that were there. So
Yes, agreed. I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Julie? Nothing from Julie. That's okay. You can just listen. Did I miss anyone else? We're going to do a spotlight with Frank, and then Peter is our speaker. And if I didn't miss anyone, I'm going to go ahead and allow.
Robin, can I just make a quick note about J-Day USA? Really
Yep,
quick?
do that right now. That'd be perfect.
So it is so good to see everybody here. Like, I want to hug all of you, and especially the ones that I saw in person. And Tim, just so you know, we do have extra crickets. I left them in my son's room so he can eat them when he comes home. So if you guys don't know, I did eat crickets. Anyway, we had so much fun. If you can, start saving up now. If you put away a couple of dollars each month, you'll be ready to meet us wherever we end up going. Okay, so just come. It was really, my heart is full, seriously. But the videos are up. when I sent the email this morning, I didn't think the videos were up. They're actually up. So thank you, Olivier, for 99% of the videos. So all you have to do is go to the site, log in. If you are not registered, you have to be a registered user to get in. If financially there are any kind of concerns whatsoever, send me an email. We do have some sponsor tickets available that I could reach out to sponsors. For those that sponsored, they got a certain number of tickets. So if you could just email me if it's a problem. If not, any money that we raise, that's going to be used towards the next event next year. So it's going to a good place, and you'll get 20 videos, that are just amazing, and you'll be able to watch all these things. This, not this one. And we're also having another session on June 3rd with Lisa Fulton, a part 2. It's going to be a Q&A about YouTheme. You do not have to pay to attend that. Anyone can attend that. It's a Q&A. It's kind of a part 2 from the session that she taught. So my suggestion, watch her session first and then do the Q&A. So it's going to be on Saturday, June 3rd. We will be recording that. And again, anyone that's registered will be able to watch the recording afterwards. And those of you that are registered, there will be a coupon code available for YouTheme. It'll be available for 24 hours for new users only after her presentation on June 3rd. It's a very small window. So it will be available for 24 hours. So it would be from Saturday at 10 a.m. to Sunday at 10 a.m. And it's for new users only of YouTheme. And we'll post it on our website for the 24 hours that it's available. And that's only for registered users for JDay USA. Last piece, if you want to join our committee, send Robin an email, me an email. We'd love you to join us. This is meant to be a United States-wide event. And we're looking now to figure out where we're going to have it next year. So if any of you have any connections to Microsoft in your town of where you are, let us know, and we can work together. That's it. Thank you.
Oh, and Laura, someone asked me to tell them how much it cost to go. So the conference was $50. Hotel was about $600.
It's per night. It's about $200-300 a night. Yeah.
Yeah. And we flew, so we Ubered. So Uber was about, well, from the airport to there was 70 because weren't many cars that night, and it was about 30 back. So altogether it's about 650 plus the little bit that you might spend on food or something else, or crickets. And the good news for all of you is that those are American dollars, not Canadian dollars. So those are American dollars. So, and you guys have lots of those.
And if you can room with someone, you save even more money, if you can get creative with that. So you could save money on the rooming. We try to find something where it's not expensive and something where everything's walkable, so you don't have to rent a car. So yeah, thank you.
It was amazing. All right, Frank, do you need to share your screen?
Yeah, if I can. I was going to mention too, I forgot to wear it, but I bought a JDay USA hoodie from the Cafe Press store.
Oh, wonderful. Yay.
Yeah, thanks everyone. I thought instead of me just talking, I did put together a presentation, if that's okay.
All right, I'm going to time you for 10 minutes.
Sure.
And do your best, and then we're going to move right into Peter's after that.
Okay.
All right, have at it.
Yes. All right, can you see my screen?
We can.
Hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, so I figured I'd do a little slideshow just instead of me talking, and I titled this From There to Here because I feel like everything I've done in my life has transpired, and my life has led me to where I am today. So it's been a journey, as you'll see. But I thought I'd go over just a lightning round of some early years for background, previous career that I had, how I got into working with websites, how that led me to being a business owner, and then just a wind down of some free time activities that I like when I'm not staring at websites all day. So I was born in Norway. And as a kid, we moved a tremendous amount between Norway and the United States. It started at 19 months, we moved to New York. Age 3, we moved to Norway. Age 4 to Massachusetts. Age 5 to New York. Age 7 back to Norway. Age 9 to New York. Age 10 back to Norway. And then finally at age 13, we moved to Los Angeles. And I'm currently on the central coast of California where I do my web work. But I did have another career before working with websites. I guess most of us at my age, we did. And straight out of high school, didn't know what I was going to do. Going to college, I literally stumbled into a training program to work part-time driving school buses for the school system in Los Angeles. That ultimately led me into driving charter buses across the Western United States, then later trucking. And I worked local long distance and for a variety of different industries, worked in Canada. But I woke up one day in my mid-30s and I thought, what am I doing? I got to do something else. This was never supposed to last this long. So I quit and I sold some stock options. I took a temp job working for a medical clinic, just doing clerical work, which gave me the time I needed to go back to school, finally finished my associate's degree. And I also finished 2 certificate degrees at a university extension, one in website design and another one in e-commerce development. So this is now 2001. And it led me to my first web job, which was working for an online retailer of health and fitness equipment. And it was my job to maintain their front end of their very large website, a lot of HTML work. Also did some affiliate websites for them. And they also put me into a position of doing some graphic design. I'm not a graphic designer, didn't consider myself one then, but they thought I could at least do some promotions and banners and things like that. Did my best. So that job ended after 3 years when the company sold to a competitor in Florida who took all our jobs there. But I landed a contract assignment with Baxter Bioscience, and they were working on a medical web application in 12 or 15 different languages. It was a pretty interesting project. I was part of the front end team, so I got a lot of hands-on CSS and JavaScript experience there. And Baxter ended, I got another contract with Patagonia, the clothing retailer, working with their web team. And it was at Patagonia that I learned about Joomla. So this was Joomla 1 at about 2005. And some of you might remember this darling interface of the Joomla 1 control panel. I started using Joomla. I was doing freelance work on the side and started using Joomla in some of those projects. When Patagonia ended, between the freelance work and some unemployment insurance that I was eligible for, I was finally able to support myself, worked as a sole proprietor for a while, and in 2008 formed my limited liability company. So I'm now chartered with the state, registered, licensed with the city here locally, and it all feels pretty official. The name of the company is EFN Web. It's very simple. It's just my initials, Frank Nilsen, with an E in front and a web on the back. And I also have a local DBA, 2AM Creative, and that redirects to my business website, efnweb.com. On it, I like to feature the platforms I work with, and also I've done Norwegian translation work for RS Joomla. And I also like to showcase the clients and companies I'm very proud to be associated with, as well as some of the websites that I've had a primary role in building, business websites and nonprofits, law firms. I'm also involved with the local county fairgrounds. I didn't build this site, and it's not even Joomla, but they brought me on years ago for various support items, hosting support, domain support, website support, training the staff, and so on. And I'm super happy. I get a lot of work from them, and they're one of my better clients. And the website represented here, lastly, this is a all women's drumming corps in the north of Norway. And this website is Joomla 3. It's 100% in Norwegian language, the front end, and well, I would say 80 or 90% of the administration, all using Norwegian language packs, and it works great. They have to upgrade it to Joomla 4. They know it. I'm encouraging them to do that, but I think they're discussing internally what they want to do. I'll support them no matter what they do. Extensions that I like, Akiba Backup, of course, and thanks, Robin, for turning me on to Watchful. JCE Editor. I also like a lot of the RS Joomla stuff where I did the translation work, and Regular Labs, trying to get my clients to get used to the content templater because it works great. And I have about 12 years experience with DT Register. The vendor is now Joomla Art. It's a bit of a monster. It does the job, but unfortunately, it's not going to Joomla 4. So if anybody has suggestions for event registration components that would possibly replace that. Happy to, if you would put that in the chat for me. And frameworks, I worked for a long time with Rocket Theme and Gantry. I've since moved to Joomshaper and SP Page Builder and all that. I'm not totally happy with them. I'm not gonna diss them, but the Page Builder especially seems buggy sometimes. So I'm gonna go forward from here, try to do what I can with Cassiopeia and child templates, and there seems to be a lot of opportunity there. And for page builders, maybe something else. Also on my website, you can find me on LinkedIn and on Google My Business, where I have a small handful of 5-star reviews, which I'm quite proud of. So when I'm not doing all of that in my free time, just to wind down here, I enjoy hiking in the local mountains where I get to see pretty flowers and mountain bikers and deer and bobcats and raptor birds and lizards and some different kinds of snakes, and even the occasional tarantula. Tarantulas are very shy, and if you find them in the open like this, give them space. They scurry off into the bushes and do whatever it is tarantulas do in the bushes. I also enjoy speed skating on ice, which is something I've done since I was a kid. Took it up again as an adult, and I'm involved with a local club in Southern California, maintain their website and their email, and volunteer for them. And I don't compete anymore, but I attend the competitions, and it's a lot of fun. It's just something completely different. And then just lastly, I just want to pay homage to my father. He passed away in 2005. He retired actually from a 20-year career at Universal Studios. And since we're Los Angeles adjacent, it's not uncommon to see these filming crews, and it always reminds me of his world a little bit when I see those productions. So that's what I got. Thanks, everyone. I just want to go through some credits for the assets I used in this presentation, give everybody their just due. And I hope that was informative and not too boring.
That was lovely. Thank you, Frank. I have to say, every spotlight is amazing, and I hope that all of you that still haven't said you'll do it yet will be encouraged to do it. It took Frank a couple of months for me to convince him, and see, that's amazing. I'm gonna turn it over to Joe, and I want Joe to introduce our speaker today, if you don't mind, and then we'll let Peter take it from here.
I didn't know I was going to be doing this, but I have absolutely no problem introducing Peter. Peter Marshall is a very long time Joomla developer who is very, very talented and does amazing things. And he's on the other side of the ocean. And I wish that I could spend more time with him, just because he's also a very, very nice person as well, too. So Joomla extensions developer, and I think he's also very, very involved, or has been very involved with the Joomla project at large in helping, just with the core development stuff and pointing things out and offering solutions, doing pull requests and all kinds of other things. So that's Peter. Now, Peter, forget which city you're from. You're in where?
From the Netherlands, in a small town called Nijmegen. It's in the east of
Nijmegen. Oh man.
Yeah, just below Arnhem, and yeah, if you know the bridge too far, our bridge was not too far, and Arnhem was too far.
All right, so we're really pumped to have you here, and as we've already heard from like Karen, that people, some people know about your extension that you're going to be highlighting today, and it does something that I think is fantastic, which is to help make things simpler for users using the Joomla admin. So Peter, take it away and show us your cool extension.
Okay, well, first of all, last weekend we had Joomla Day Netherlands here in my country, and it was really nice to see all those people after 4 years, because in 2019 we had the last one, And I did a presentation about ChatGPT for website developers. And unfortunately, Elisa was doing her UTeam presentation at the same time in another room, so I could not attend it. Anyway, these days I'm at the moment currently doing some custom development for 2 clients. One of them has a customer that has a lot of bike, how do you say, bike shops that are they have all dealers for electrical bikes, and they want to have some sort of system where the bike dealers can easily buy a new equipment for the bikes. For instance, when you have an electrical bike and the display is bad, you want to buy a new one, but it's my component which will make it more easy for them, because it integrates with HikaShop. So when you click on something, it goes into the cart of HikaShop, but I'm still doing that. The other thing is Easy Profile was a component that a lot of users use in Joomla 3. It's not available for Joomla 4, and at the moment I'm doing some custom work to use Joomla's user custom fields for the users to create something new. And yeah, that's basically it. And around migrations, I do a lot of migrations, and sometimes it's easier to do a migration first and then move only the tables that you need, like the core tables of Joomla, to a new empty website and install all the stuff new. Then you don't have any legacy of old plugins and components in a new website. Anyway, my presentation today, I will share my screen if it's possible. Paused.
I love that you went back and answered our introduction questions. Feel like the group. Yay. Come back next month too.
Okay, so first I will give a small presentation about D2 profiles to make Joomla easier, because yeah, then it's hopefully more clear what it is. So it's not only made by me. I did it together with Sigrid Kramlinger. She's from Austria, and I know her a long time already in the Joomla community. But in 2017, we had dinner together at a Joomla World Conference in Rome. She was talking about the GDPR and how she was doing stuff for customers. And I already was thinking about creating some sort of software as a service. And I asked her if she wanted to, to participate, that we could build something together. I like to stick to the core, so I don't like extensions. I mean, I have extensions when I install websites, but it's easier to stick to the core because then upgrades will be easier. And Joomla Sigrid has the same mentality, and she tries to do as much as possible with just Joomla. So I talked to you about the GDPR, which is the European privacy laws. And we started to do something called Data to EU. It's a processing index for small companies. So you can create your own processing index, and we give a lot of examples. So instead of doing it maybe in half a day, it's just an hour of work. So because she's a front-end developer, I'm a back-end developer. And when we were working together, we also looked at Joomla. We hear a lot that Joomla is too difficult. I mean, people who are not using Joomla regularly, they sometimes think that other CMS systems are more easy. And we think that Joomla, it can be difficult, but you can do a lot in the back end to make it easier for your customers. I did a couple of presentations in the past. And one of the things is when you're working with Joomla, it's so flexible, but it has a lot of options, and you can do stuff about that. So first of all, you can limit choices using ACL, the access control list, where you just create a couple of profiles for user groups and also only give them access to certain parts of the Joomla backend. You could also create admin menus for your customers and give those admin menus limited choices. And finally, yeah, how can you make Joomla easier for your customers? Well, there are a couple of ways. What we did first, we thought about creating an extension, and we copied the com content of Joomla 3, and we created com D2 content, which was an extension for Joomla 3 to create profiles. And we had a couple of issues with the Joomla categories, because the Joomla categories, when you create content in Joomla, it expects to work with com content when you go to the categories. And as we were working com D2 content, we could not do it in a nice way. Something else was UTeam Pro. Sigrid and I, we both have our own customers, and we both use UTeam Pro a lot. And D2 content was not compatible with that. I mean, when you go to UTeam Pro, it also expects to work with com content. So for Joomla 4, we took another approach. We started with a package, and the package contains components to manage the profiles. You will have a system plugin that will load D2 profile plugins, and you have the D2 profile plugins, and I will show that in a minute. So there are a couple of ways to make Joomla easier in the backend for your customers. And if you focus on the content creation itself, like you are looking at the editor, there are a couple of ways what you could do to make it easier. And everything has to do with reducing the choices that you give your customers in the backend. So there's an option in Joomla to hide the tabs. You can also do template overrides to hide some fields. You can also create plugins to hide some fields, or maybe to override fields. And we created an extension to do everything like that, but then based on the context. So first of all, if you want to change Joomla articles, so I'm not really sure if you can see it clearly, but here you have the regular Joomla articles: content, images and links, options, publishing, configure, edit screens, and permissions. A bit much, we think. In a Joomla core, you can go to the options of the articles. So content, articles, options, and then you can create your own custom stuff. Like here, you say, I don't want to see the article options. I don't want to see the edit screen. So just switch them off. And then you only have the content tab, and everything else is gone. However, it's gone for everyone. So you cannot make it available for certain groups. Another thing what you could do is template overrides. For instance, if you go to the backend, you could create in administrator templates for the autumn, which is the backend template of Joomla 4. In the HTML folder, you can add your overrides. And if you want to override the com content in the backend, you just add com content article, and there you copy the edit.php of Joomla, you put it here, and you can change stuff. For instance, in this file, it says echo layout helper render Joomla edit global, and then it will show on the right side of the screen publishing, category, notes, etc., and the language. And if you change this code, so you remove this and you put something like this, like echo this form get label state, and also this form get label cat ID and get input cat ID, then you end with something like this. So you only have these fields like the status and the category, and also added language because it's necessary. You cannot remove the language, otherwise you will get an error saving, because Joomla expects a language or an asterisk, meaning all languages. If you remove it totally, then you get an error. But anyway, the issue with this, it's a bit difficult to create and also to disable. It's the same for every user in every category. And some of those fields, like the language, is required. If you want to know more about changing the templates in the backend to make it easier, there are a lot of tips and tricks in a Joomla community article written by Marc de Chèvre, and this presentation will be online, and I will share it with the group, and then you can click all the links. So in this case, you can go to the website of the Joomla Community Magazine to see it. The third option is plugins. it's a bit difficult, but people who know a bit of code can create plugins themselves. There is documentation on the Joomla website about it, and these are more persistent than template overrides because they just, you don't override them. So I created an example plugin called plugin content db8 form, and you can see it on GitHub. It's a plugin. And there's 2 files, so it has an XML file. If you put these files on the server and you go into the backend, this cover will pick it up because it sees this XML file. You have the db8 form, and this has some code. I just disabled everything, but here you can just, if you are part of a certain group that's configured in this component, then you can just say, okay, I would like to make the node field required because it's not required by default, but you can override everything. Everything in the form you can override using this kind of stuff. Hold on, I have to get back. Yeah. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So that's a plugin. The issue with the plugin is that it works for everybody, and you cannot make it dependent on certain things. So the extension that we develop, you can, it's a paid extension, and you can get it on data2site.com. And you can create profiles, and those profiles are based on context, meaning a component, a client, and a view. At the moment, we have only the content component in the backend and the article and articles view. And you can assign those profiles to certain user groups, categories, or language files. And you can define tabs, field sets, and choose custom fields. And I will show that because then it's easier. So yeah, this is too small. I will show it on the real screen. Okay, so let's. So I will have to share my other screen, which is here. This is a local Joomla website. It's called local.initech. And people who know the movie Office Space, which is one of my favorites, will probably recognize the team of the people who work at this fictional company. So I use this as an example. This is the backend of the website. The U team here, I edited myself as a custom module. I was told that in Joomla, I mean, in a new U team, I think U team 4, you will have this option by default. And let's assume that I just installed D2 profiles. You can see it here. It has profiles and a dashboard. If I go to the dashboard, if you go to the dashboard, you can see that everything is missing. I didn't add the download key, but that's no problem for the working of this. There's also no D2 profile published. There's no system plugin, and also the plugin for the D2 profiles is not published. So this is the default state when you just install it. So first, let's go to the system plugins. It's a system plugin that will look, am I in the right context to load a profile? So now it's enabled. Then I have another one. It's the D2 profiles plugin. At the moment, we have for the articles one plugin. So when you have a profile for the articles and this plugin is enabled, it will probably load the article depending on the context. So now I have only one other thing. It's not published. I don't have any profiles. If I go to profiles, you can see, just like with Joomla articles, there are no profiles or no articles. And I can create my first profile. So this is how it works. Oh, let me first show, I will open a new screen. And in a new screen, I will open articles. The first thing that our extension does, it will show the intro images. in the back end. So all these articles have intro images and these don't. And when I work for my customers, I always teach them to use the intro image, because displaying intro images in articles makes it much more fun on the front end for people to click on it. So yeah, it's better for the usability. So maybe you have really big images, intro images, which I don't recommend. But if you have, and the back end loads really slow, you can make a small change in the plugin. So you go to the profiles. No, sorry, I have it here. Options. There it says the options, they are in the plugin. So I go to the plugins, and in the plugins, I have an option called show intro image. It's by default show, but I can also say placeholder. I save it. If I go back to the articles and I refresh, you will see that the images are gone, but it only shows the image sizes. And this makes the backend faster. So yeah, you can see which images don't have anything, and you can see the image sizes. And this one, the printer fixed, is big. It's much too big for an intro image. Anyway, this is just something that is in the extension. If I open the printer fixed, you can see this is just the Joomla default. You have all those tabs, and you have all those fields that you can yeah, switch on or off. So the extension itself, I'll go back here. If I go to the components profile dashboard, oh sorry, profiles, I will now create the first profile. So the first profile, I call it virtual yuck, and it's for the content, and it's for the admin. The site is not yet there. It's only for the admin at the moment. And the view is article. I see here save profile first, save profile, save profile. So I will save it first. And now I have new options. I can select a couple of different, how do you say, categories, or even user groups. The other thing is that I have to move this here. Here you can define tab and field sets. So I will create one. I call it tab 1. And something. I will say 6 columns. I will do something else like tab 1. Now I call it else. This is just how you start. Then you save. And now you have, with the form fields, I can add new fields. Like, for instance, I definitely need a category, because it's compulsory with Joomla articles. And I would like to see it on the right side in the else. And I will create also the status, because it's really easy to do something with it. And also the article text. And I will also have it in something, and I will move to here. And I will create a third thing, and that's the language. And I put it in the else position. Now I will save it. Because it's in team, I will go in the back end to the articles. So if I open an article like demo, which has nothing in it, it now says news here. But if I change this to the category team, you'll see it's refreshing. And now I have my own new layout. I have here tab 1, something, and here it says else. Maybe I want to have the image here. Then I go back here. I say, okay, I will put the intro image, and I put it on the right side on beneath else. Save. I go back, I refresh, and now I have also the image here. So I can select the category, I can select the status, I can select images and language on the right side, and here the other thing. And if you like this layout, then you can also, if I close it now here, I can also export this virtual jug. So I select it and I export the profile, and I can use it on my other websites. I can also import profiles, of course. So I choose import, and I go in this case to the CO open process. So now I have also a CO profile, and let's add that CO profile to the news. So now I have two profiles, news and team. And if I go back to my articles, I'm in a demo article, and I see here that it's in the team. If I switch this to news, now you can see that I have a new layout, the article text, and beneath I have here the meta description, which is important for SEO. I mean, it's not for the indexing, but it's for the display in Google, the search page. So this is how it works. And yeah, are there any questions?
Peter, what was the tab in that news view? There were two tabs showing.
Do you mean here or?
Sorry, no, in the article view.
Demo. I have, oh here, tapje. Oh yeah, this is the content, and this is a tapje. This is a demo. Oh no, so this is the article demo. It has content and tapje, but it's in the news category. So I have to look in the profiles for the one in the news category, which is this. It's an imported profile that has content tapje as tabs, and this is just the names that you can give to it. I mean, you can, yeah, you can mention name it everything you like. So
now, I was picturing that with using the profiles, everything would be on one page, not tabs.
Well, I can do it on one page, and I have to put here. I have to put it on the right.
Oh.
And now I save it. So I'm not using the tapje. This one is not used. So if I go to the backend, I refresh, and now tapje is gone because I only have everything on content. So it's just what you want. You can have the 1, 2, 3. You can. So you are flexible in doing the tabs. You're flexible in creating this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The field sets. Here I have photo, and if you look at photo is a custom field. So you can also use custom fields of Joomla in your articles in these views.
Yeah. Can you show me how you set it up in the fields to show it in tabs rather than just continuous?
You mean you want to have different tabs?
Yeah, is it just based on like the number of columns? So if you do like you've got the columns there, 9, left is 9, right is 3, so that's 12. And then if you have another field set, it's going to create a tab and not just another row.
I create another row, and then I will put the article text in another row. It takes the order what you see here, so I have to move it to the bottom. And I have this zoom. No, I have to zoom images on the right side flickering now. I don't know how to get rid. Oh yeah, here. If I do it like, yeah, this is better. I'll put it here. Okay, so I just created in the content. So I have only one tab called content. I have left, right, and another row. And then I will go to my article edit. I refresh. And here I have left, right, and here I have another row. And you can see that, it's difficult to position it here. So I have to do it in another way.
No, I think I realized the difference here. If you go back to the profile tab, yeah, I realized that on that first column, if that is a different word, that field, that's going to create a new tab.
Yeah, but now I have to select it here, otherwise, because now it doesn't know that I changed it.
Okay.
So now I have content here.
Yeah.
new tab here.
Okay, understood. I didn't realize that you could create, I thought I was just creating fields, not just tab. I see that's great. You can make tabs if you want.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
I have a question for you, Peter. Is this only for Tiny Editor or does it work in any of the other editors?
It works on, well, actually, this is not Tiny MCA. This is a JCE editor. But what I can do, let me show it. First, I set a new. I don't like to have a different tab, so I will. You know what? I will close this one. Hold on. I will change this one to. No, I just unpublish it. So I have the virtual Jurk here, and it has an article text. Okay. So if I go to the backend of Joomla and I open demo here, this is the Joomla default. If I switch to theme, oh, you can see that I have the editor here. If I go to Joomla, oh, in the backend, and I go to the global configuration, and instead of JCE, I do Tiny MCA, save. I go back here, and now I have Tiny MCE, but it still works. So the editor is just the Joomla editor. And the other thing is, maybe you don't like this layout. So what I can do, I have template styles. I have Cassiopeia, but also UTeam Pro. I select UTeam Pro. Now I have a better layout, I think. And this is the homepage. But if I go to the theme again, I go in the backend to the theme. I refresh. It still works with UTeam Pro. If I go to yes. In this weekend, I did a presentation about ChatGPT, and on the Friday of the Joomla days, there was someone from France. His name is Yannick Gaultier. You probably know him from SH404 but also probably for SEO. And he has a new extension called for AI. So if I go to plugins, here I have to select. So I have a system plugin called for AI. So now I have here for AI. It's I have to enable it in the menu here as well. So system extensions ID. It's this for AI. Yeah. So I have this component called for AI installed on this website. And if I go to articles, I go to I create a new article. This new article So I have a couple of spelling errors here. And what I can do, this for AI works also with our extension. So if I go to, for instance, to the theme, because then I see an error, it's from JCE on this website, from the plugin. But if I see it like this here, I can do the for AI. You can see that it takes the our stuff here, it puts it here, and I can do transform spell, and I can just submit a request. For AI is not our extension; it's a separate extension, and I can just show the differences. You can see that here I made a couple of errors, and I can modify save as new article. No, save as article. Replace edited content. Yeah. So now I have a better here. Now it's improved, but it's just yeah, a Joomla, the editor. If I change it to let's go back. System plugins. No, sorry. Dashboard, global configuration. I switch back to JCE because I prefer that one better. And if I refresh here, oh, I saved first. So I saved it. Hey, there's an error, and I have the error reporting up full. I switch on the error reporting. I hope that it saves it for the moment. Yeah, I just hide it, but I have to look into it, what it is. So maybe I do the same again. Expand blog post. So the text I have in our extension in D2 profiles, I just feed it to the editor. So it works with this for AI component, and it also works with UTeam Pro. And yeah, these, I mean, UTeam Pro I already use a lot, and this new extension is very promising. So therefore, yeah, I'm glad that it works together with those. It takes a lot of time now to get the stuff back from the server. Sometimes it can...
So you can also select which user groups. So if you had set up your clients for something other than a super admin, like an editor or whatever, you can assign these layouts for them as well.
Yes, I can show that here in the backend. I have to go to the components. I go to D2 profiles. For instance, if I go to this one, I can just select the user groups that I want to assign it to.
Very nice.
And if I save it, if it's published, then you have to look to the order of those plugins. So if the virtual jug is before the other one, and I am looking at the team page, then I will see, I'll get this profile. If I go to another category like news, and I'm super admin, then I should not get this profile. Let me check. Oh yeah, this is the text I have now.
That is crazy, by the way. It thinks we're a hub, we're a jug, but still all that content.
Save. So I'm now in team. If I go to news, you can see this is the Joomla default view. That's because my user is not here in the editor. If I set my, I'm super user now. If I set it to super users and I save and I go back, I refresh, and I should get the profile of the super users, which you can see now. And you can also see that this layout uses D2 profiles, and it's the SEO profile. I switched on the debug mode so you can see which profile you are using. So when you set it up for your customers, you switch on in the back end the debug mode of the plugin, and then you can, if you create a user account in that has the same rights as they have, then you can set it up and check it if it works correctly, and you can easily see which profile is loaded.
We have about 5 minutes left. Is there anyone else that has questions that wants to ask Peter while we have a moment?
This is a commercial extension. Tell us about your pricing structure.
Good question, Joe. Our extension, you can obtain it at data2sites.com, and our pricing structure is when you buy it, it's, where is it? Get this is the one. When you buy it, you can install it on every website that you have. So it's just one subscription for a year, and I think when you renew it, I think we give a 20 euros discount. And when you have a D2 Content Pro license that's still valid, then you can upgrade it for, I think, 50 euros. But the normal price is 79, but you can install it on every website. And when you have installed it, you have to create a token. You put a token on your client's website. And when your client is not longer your client, and you don't want your client to make use of your license, then you can just unpublish the token on this website, and then the client has to buy their own license. So you can have it for your own clients, and it's yeah, unlimited. Any other questions?
Peter, do you know of any other it sounded like things were all compatible, any other known incompatibilities? Like, I know you're using UTheme. What about SP Page Builder?
Oh, no.
Or anything like that?
SP Page Builder, yeah, no, I don't want I don't talk about that. If you use SP Page Builder, you're not using you are building every page yourself. So it's just like going back to the front page 989 or 98, I mean. It's not, you won't make use of Joomla, of the quality of Joomla. If you use, for instance, UTheme Pro, you can install, I mean, you just use UTheme Pro, and you have, for instance, if I go to theme, I have a template created for theme. And if I go to services, I have another one. But if I want, I can yeah, just create one template and make it available for all the categories. And then all the categories have the same layout as what I created. So yeah, SP Page Builder, when you create SP Page Builder, you are using com_spb, which is not com content. And our extension is modifying the form of com content with the plugin. So therefore, it's not compatible with SP Page Builder.
Yeah, and what about easy layouts?
I'm not sure how easy layouts works. So it's Karen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I will contact you to ask if I can get a copy of easy layouts to make a test locally.
Okay.
I'm not sure how they modify the layout. If they modify the layout the same way as D2 Profiles does, then it's not compatible.
Peter.
Yes.
Right now, D2 Profiles is working with articles.
Yes.
You have plans to add other components?
Well, at the Joomla Day in the Netherlands, when I showed it to people, people start to ask, yeah, please make it available in the front end for articles. So that will probably be our first thing to do. And after that, we will probably make it available for the contacts, so that you can create the contacts. Because if contacts, you have a lot of fields here, and maybe you want to make it in a different way. So this will probably be the second component that we will make available. I mean, if we do, we create a new plugin called D2 Profiles Content.
Okay, so it's just going to be like Joomla core content?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have any other extensions that yeah, that you want to change?
No, not really. I was just curious.
There's so much extensions available, so we have to make a choice. And
I understand.
I like your approach of doing as much in core as possible, and
yeah,
you're right, they have to have all these fields available. but I like the way where you can turn them off if you don't need to see them. That really cleans things up. It was a great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Peter. This is Mike. I do have a question. Do you offer any pre-built profiles that we could import?
Not yet, but let me check because where is it? Open D2 profiles.
Or maybe in your when someone installs the plugin, that it could have a demo or a demo profile so that we can see how it was done to get a better idea, just like a roadmap kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, we are planning to put some of the JSON files that you can export, that you can import in your D2 profiles. We will put it on our website, but we have to find a place. So we already have two profiles created. One is a default profile that has all. I think this has all the tabs and the fields that Joomla Core has. So it's really long. So if you install D2 profiles Joomla 4 article default, then it will more or less look like the Joomla default, and you can just switch off things you don't want. If you load the SEO profile, then you will have the things that are important for SEO. And
Right.
yeah, so this is probably how what we're gonna do.
An awesome plugin.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done, everyone. Exactly an hour and a half. Yeah, 24 people show up today, and we got to listen to every single one of you. I appreciate everyone coming month after month. And I'm very excited. J-Day USA was amazing, and J-Day Netherlands was amazing. Keep communicating with those Joomla people that you love so much throughout the world to help each other out and keep our projects moving in the right direction. Hey, Tim, you want to close us out?
Yes, I would like to talk to Olivier about his experience with someone that was trying to steal his extension. So, but I don't know if you want to just wrap this up at your hour and a half, and then people that want to talk about that, because I had an idea how to catch them. But anyways,
I'll keep it open so you guys can stay on. But yes, if you'll close us out.
Anyways, yeah, okay. Well, I like this Joomla user group. I like its new name.
Elisa does not want it to change, but she's the only one. So,
but I was sitting here and I was just thinking, like, it's just so nice to hang out with my friends. So I think that's the power of the Joomla community that we're in, and we are friends, and we're the best kind of friends to have, because we can talk as much about Joomla as we want, and people don't go cross-eyed like our other friends that don't know it, right? So I was just sitting here, just really enjoying that, and so that is great. We're blessed to have this connection with each other. That and that's good. So I guess that'll wrap that up.
where's your closing? You usually do a nice closing.
Oh, that, okay. The other, I was confused because in other
I thought that
contexts,
was the closing.
no, sorry. In other contexts, when people ask me to close, it means I'm going to pray, and I knew that didn't mean that. So, all right. So here's how I close off. Yeah, you're talking about the live stream. As usual, wherever you are, I hope this finds you. No, darn. See, I wasn't prepared. Okay, we'll edit this. As usual, I hope that wherever this finds you, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or tomorrow, that this finds you well. Until the next time, enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you again for running this. We'll see you all in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
Have a good Joomla day, everybody.
Bye.